Probably just one run tonight. Got Borderlands 4 to play. Waiting on a friend to do that. So let's see if we can squeeze a run in. I've been running a little bit, but I just need to get some runs in, you know? I'm gonna try. Can't guarantee I'm not gonna reset, but I'm gonna try just get one in. You know, just straight through. This ain't gonna be a PB, right? Like, I haven't run in days. Oh. I don't know when I'm gonna get to run, and I'm gonna be out of on vacation next week. Starting on Wednesday. So for right now, I just want to try to keep myself at least a little bit warm. When I get back from my vacation, I'm going to be working on a run. Wow, I'm feeling very not up to par. I'm going to be working on a run that I can submit with my narration stuff to Awesome Games Done Quick 2026. Oh fudge. So I'm just trying to get myself in the habit of like just doing a run, just do runs. You know, I've now proven to myself I can. I'll throw a record. I know how to grind. Yeah, my clicking is like not super tight right now. That's so slow. It's alright. Yeah, I just want to get in the habit of completing runs. Because I have a lot of incomplete runs in the grand scheme of things. Oh my goodness, I haven't messed that up in ages. Wow. Okay, I am going to reset this one for the record. Because I'm just like off. Okay, so I come from here. I don't remember the last time I messed this up. Okay. How does that work again? See this? Oh yeah, see that time I just went straight up. Okay, so that was really bad, but that's fine. Alright, take two. So yeah, I'm going to put together a submission for GDQ. Because I think this game would be excellent there. I don't know that it's super duper popular, but it's really, really good, and I think it's a good run. I'm like weirdly conflicted about the most recent changes to the route, with sort of going up over those rocks for the Red MacGuffins. Get the Red MacGuffin area. Just because I feel like it's not as good looking. I don't know, it just feels like you're skipping a little too much for it to feel good, in my opinion. But, like, I mean, we skip a lot of this run, a lot of the game, so what I talk about in this section. I would talk about what kind of game it is. It's a 3D Metroidvania with puzzle solving, platforming, adventure, exploration, and combat. It's excellent. There are secrets around every corner, and we will not be getting most of them because this is 70%. We do avoid any major. We are doing this glitchless, although apparently that doesn't mean we can't kind of a little bit go out of bounds. But it's not out of bounds. And that's kind of one of the interesting things about this game is that like the intended playable area is quite large and flexible. Like they intend for you to get to a lot of places eventually. Like actually, I would go out on a limb and say I think, I don't know for a fact, but if I went to that area that we do that skip on, and use the one sec, and use the translocator, I bet you can get there. So I have a feeling. There we go. Technically, that's intended playable area. I think the only places that are not intended playable areas are literally places where we have where there's invisible walls to stop you. Theoretically, I can do that faster if I do some sort of jumping and hopping over the rock, but I just messed that up horribly every time I've tried, so... So yes. Go here, try this. Oh, okay, the first throw was good, the catch was less good, but that's alright. Oh! It is so forgiving. Looks so good, but it's done right. Oh my gosh, I thought I was going to fall there. That's a place I've reset a number of times. It just feels so bad. And it's such a big time loss early. Okay. What? Okay. Can we talk? Okay. What was that? I'm looking down. Hold on. That worked. Oh, okay. We just don't work when I'm in actually when it matters. Exact same thing. Go to the tape. Go to the tape. Whatever. Whatever. Oh. But I'm also trying to get myself in the habit of sort of just talking during these so that when I do eventually do my submission tape in a couple weeks, it's not an absolute hot mess. But I'm actually prepared. So it's not like the worst run ever. I'm like used to trying to do a decent run and talk at the same time. So this one, let me see. I'm going to try to do a run through and I'm going to just try to narrate a little bit. This is Supraland. This is a 3D Metroidvania, platforming, puzzle solving, combat, exploration game. We are toys in a sandbox, and now I have my little... It's dangerous to go alone, so take this sword. There's a lot of like little fun, cute references in here. There's the sword. Maybe if I see later, I have on camera later on. I'll point out some other ones, but so this is basically early game. This is the extent of combat. You smack things with your sword and try to keep them away from you. Until we get an upgrade later, there is no reward for combat. You actually have to get an upgrade to get loot from enemies. This game actually takes a page out of like, oh, I forget what that name was, Evoland's book, where you don't even get like a health meter, you know, a certain more exciting health bar until you get an upgrade for it. So you don't get loot until you get an upgrade for it. We do in fact get that upgrade, but we skip almost all upgrades. So I think we get 4 in this run. At the beginning, we buy 4 upgrades. We do get some later. I guess we get a whole bunch of different abilities. But yeah, this early section we get, one moment, speed, oh, we have 5. Speed times 2, which lets us run faster, and you know, most importantly, jump twice as far. Speaking of, I'm just gonna jump right up there. I don't know why that works. I've never known why that works, and I don't question it. This is supposed to be a little puzzle where you have to put a barrel in a thing and shoot it up and hit a button, and we just don't do that. We just are able to grab it. That's one of like a few of the puzzles we actually engage with in this run. We don't break a lot of them. Like that is the anomaly. So now with that we got the force cube. We're not going to use the force cube quite yet, but we both needed to grab it because we need to get it, and we also need to. Ooh, that was unfortunate. We need to clear our wallet because we can only hold 30 coins right now, and so the force cube is. The next upgrade, it costs 24. So if we didn't buy the force cube, we wouldn't be able to afford the ×2 wallet upgrade. We need the times 2 wallet upgrade because the upgrade after that is costs 36. So, then in any case, the force cube upgrade is this thing. It is a cube. It's purple. You can just sort of make it appear. You can very helpfully climb on it when we have double jump anyway. But until we have double jump, you basically can make it appear below you to jump higher, farther. The reason we're spamming it there is... What? I'm not used to a guy there. I want to say that's never happened before. Now I'm all paranoid. It's useful for getting a little bit of vertical speed, so I spam it in some spots where I'm going uphill. But it's also useful for messing with these enemies because they're largely very no. That's also thing never happened before. Very challenging to deal with in mass. So the idea is you use this to mess with their AI a little bit, physically block them, and occasionally you'll frag them if it hits them just right. So that's what that's for. I should have grabbed some health there, but I'm talking and forgot. That is a weird little bonus thing that happened from time to time. Oh. Whoa, hold on. That's new. So if I could consistently climb up there like that, that would be tremendous. I wasted a little extra time at the end there trying to see if I could do it up that last bit, but that's alright. Because this isn't going to be a PB anyway. I'm going to grab this. We don't want to be low on health. Deaths in this section are annoying. And time, they're time costy. Ow. Oh my goodness gracious. They cost time. And so is combat. The only reason I'm okay taking a few a few. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a puzzle, if you want to call it that. We used the force. I am playing so sloppy today. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're about to take a death. Very likely to be the only death, but not guaranteed. So that wasn't too costly. It could have been better, could have been worse. So, wow, he came around on the corner looking for blood. Wait, where did that even come from? Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, so we just gotta honestly find the barrel, which, oh, here it is, okay. Like, I couldn't have gone that far. So that's like bad. Like, that would absolutely be a run reset right there. At this point, my runs are good enough that deaths are reset points, and an early death like that is absolutely grounds for resetting. That's okay. You just get overwhelmed, and that I'm glad to have seen that here, right? Like, you can easily get overwhelmed by enemies, and because you can't really, in a good run, you can afford to fight them. Maybe if I was in a marathon setting, I would just fight them. But, they're tricky to fight. If you have 2 or 3 swarming you, it's not like you just fighting them is a guarantee that you won't die. So, here we drop the force cube on the thing so that when we throw this barrel down this ramp, it doesn't fall down here. We get a few extra coins. And then we come here and hope that this works. It did. So, that's always a little nerve-wracking because it's very possible for that. I've had a number of times, including on, I think, a former PB or what could have been a PB. The barrel can just get enough momentum and fly off, but we want to throw it as fast as we can, right? Because that's fast. So, yeah, that would be that happens from time to time. I did actually find a way to get back up without completely resetting the puzzle. I don't know how much faster it is because usually I'll just reset that. But now here, there's this rock there. Occasionally you can bonk. And get put in a slightly more advantageous position, but we did not do that. It's very risky to try to manipulate to make happen, because if you bonk on the wrong thing, which is very, very much easier to do, you'll end up bonking to a very bad place. So, this pipe, I hate it. It's weirdly, it's like a weird reset spot also for me, historically. I don't think for other people it would be, but for me it is. Here's the latest big time save in the run. Still haven't... Okay, there we go. You just kind of jump over that. And once again, it's kind of, sort of, feels out of bounds, but it's not really, because later on you get an ability, the translocator, you'd be able to get here no problem. The game wouldn't stop you from getting here. So, you know, I think it's fine, and, you know, the mods approved it, so it is what it is. We are now rushing through here. We are about to pick up the red MacGuffin. Throwing down a force cube there to push a button and kill Indiana Jones. Don't worry about it. And there we go. Now we are going. So now you'll see, I have 11 coins. I need to, at some point before spot coming up, I need 40. So I'm going out of my way to get this 10. It feels slow, and I mean, kind of is, but it's faster than trying to find, you know, any other batch of multiple batches of coins that add up to 10. So at this point, coin count's very important. I have a lot of route. I have a lot of sort of little route adjustments I'll make based on coins. With this current route, I skip a lot of coins going that direction, over the top like that, so I can't really afford to lose. That guy hits me, I'm dead. I can't really afford to miss those 10, but I can. So 12, 28 I think is close. I think I want 29 here. That would be like ideal. But 28's alright, we can figure it out. We plop that force cube there to... Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, please tell me that's going to miss. Nope. Wait, wow, the first one missed? That was surprising. Plop the force cube there to... we're going to turn on a switch. This battery is going to power a button. We're going to hit the button, and then that force cube is going to go up into that purple button up there, which is going to open this door. Like a lot of the puzzles in the game are kind of similar things like this. And doors open. Okay. Pop the force cube on that button over there. Shoot this other fake force cube that isn't mine off that button. And now we're going to try to place a few shots very precisely to shoot those purple cubes, those fake force cubes, if you will, off these platforms. If that works, ideally, see in the idea, so you see that one kind of got jammed up. Okay, cool. In the ideal situation, you can shoot 2 shots, knock each one off with one, and then you hit the platform and move immediately. But that's very... If you hit the platform to come, it gets stuck on one of them, which means then you have to move it back and then do it again. So you don't ideally want to hit the platform too early, if that makes sense. Here once again, it's almost like I've never done this before. Wow! Okay. Have I? Have I done this before, or is this my first run? Okay. This is good. I'm practicing getting the jitters out. So you come through here, you hit this button to move this platform. It goes to the other side. What you want to do basically is you get it caught there, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. Then it comes here. There's a lot of cool interactions in this game with physics-based objects, and it's just, there's a lot of cool stuff in this game, and this speedrun is hardly a spoiler of most of it. We scratch the surface. We still get to see a good chunk of the run, but we skip a few really important parts and a lot of, like, you know, fun puzzles. So here we're going to pop the halo off Mr. Miracle, but this is kind of only really a sort of a halo. It's kind of wood or rusty. I don't know what it sounds metallic. And we want to paint it because there's a dude over there who wants to get into the, I don't know, some holy building, and he needs a halo. It's a whole thing. But we paint this, and look at that. Now we have a halo. So we need to hold it over this guy's head, but that's slow to just sit here like a jerk. So we just pop it in the wall right there and let him gain entrance. We look for a text box here that says, "A true Holy Spirit, come in." Excellent. And then we're going to set up for having to paint something else red. So that's what we use that time for. That is a skip that I found, personally. As far as I know, no one else was doing that. So 33, oh yeah, I was talking about coin count earlier. 34, 35, 36. Okay, and so we need 4 more coins. I have a few options, but it's not great. 37 would be better. Did I get that on there? Good. Got a red key card. So we'll need the red key card for a few things. One, oh yeah, we jump on this too because it's slightly faster than going around. We'll need to open a door right here, and then we're going to try to keep this key card for a skip that I not a skip really. It's an optimization, because later we basically need to do, in a different section, we need to do a very similar thing. We run back and forth. You gotta, you know, paint something red. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so instead of doing all that, we've already got a red key card, so let's just bring this one. And it is, sounds like a no-brainer, but in order to get this key card from point A to point B, there are, I slow my movement down in some ways, and I can't do things as optimally as I'd like. So I'm not clear totally on how much of a time save is possible with really tight, effective movement. One of the things we do is rather than bring it with, actually carry it with us, you're about to see, we throw it. And these key cards, for better or for worse, these key cards throw extraordinarily far. So I kind of have a setup here that is not perfect. I mean, look, align it with this thing. We go up here, and then we tilt it a little to the right, and then we go boom. That alone costs, like, what, 5 to 10 seconds? So I probably already lost the time. But if it works, it looks super cool, and that's what this is all about, right, swag? So, with any luck, we'll see that key card again soon. And in the meantime, we're going to go over here and get this yellow thing. It's called a Super Ball. There was a game made by the person who made this game, Dave Munich, called Super Ball. I don't think it was a huge success, but they are in this game. We shoot that, and then we go through there. We're about to have about a minute, I think, of exposition here. Oh, I do not shut up. So, this red pirate dude coming here is actually the blue pirate dude. And he's trying to trap us now because we've been trying to stop him. He realized that we were trying to, you know. I'm sending a message right now. Yeah, so now we get a major upgrade. We could theoretically, according to Kamuchin, who is the former world record holder of this, you could actually skip this, but it is not a good plan. Yeah, I think we lost. Like, so that segment was pretty slow because of the keycard thing. Once again, we'll see if we actually. There's a bunch of enemies up there. We just don't care about those. We're going to ignore those. We're going to hit this just for safety for later. Now, I'm scanning and scouring, looking around for a red key card because if I don't want to lose too much time looking for it. At the same time, if it's here, we want to use it. All right, I do not see the key card, so that is unfortunate. Oh, yeah, there it is, there it is! See, it can be so hard to see. You got kind of not nestled in there, and boom. So that setup that I'd found, once again, having to do that, you're losing so much time, I don't know that it's worth it. But it's so cool! Now we're going to come over here, we're going to go here, we're going to do this, we're going to shoot it that way. And hope for the best. Now here we have to balance solving this puzzle and taking out these dudes with my new ability. You shoot, you have 2 beams, you shoot them both, and ow! They explode in a huge area. It is, I cannot imagine trying to do this run without it. Yes, theoretically you'd save a minute or whatever that was on that jail cutscene, and I think you lose way more than that having to either adjust your movement or fight things less efficiently because there's a lot of enemies in your way. There's the key card right there, so like that throw is pretty good. And there's only one more throw between here and when we actually use it, but once again, I don't think it's not a successful. Like, we spent more time than we would have spent on the thing, but it looks cool, right? Okay, so this is a pretty variable part of the run. Owie! I might take a death here. Hopefully not. Ooh, that guy swings. Oh. I also could potentially take damage getting that. Okay, cool. So those enemies have there's a lot of them, and how they interact with you is quite, I don't know that it's strictly speaking random, but it feels random, and it's very hard to deal with. You have to act on the fly. So that's a very variable part in the run where you can either gain or lose a lot of time. At this point for me, it's mostly losing. But we have the key, we throw the key, and now we still have our Super Ball, which we need to make sure gets in this building. Now, we went through, the building's going to have one of those yellow barriers. I didn't talk about it earlier, but the yellow barriers, ooh, that's quite forgiving, but not that forgiving. These yellow barriers prevent Super Balls from going through them. So we have to shoot in that little hole to make that work. Come over here, and I'm going to hit this platform 3 times. So, like, this is an example of, like, this is a puzzle game, and I don't need to solve the puzzles. I know the solutions to the puzzles. So, you know, this is easier. Okay. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, come down here. We get a key card in there. Oh my goodness, I forgot the key card. Key card! Oh no! Okay, so if this was, once again, if this was like a real run, I would be giving this is up. I'm not used to the key card being in that route yet. And by the time I come over, I'm trying to just get in. So I'm not used to this being here. And I don't know that it's going to stay in the route because I really don't think it's faster, but yeah, we throw that up there. Okay, now we have this. So that was abysmal, but it's okay. So we're going to toss that there. We're just going to go through some pipes and make this go up. Okay, there's the key card over there on the left. I don't know how it ends up so far to the left every time. I feel like I throw it pretty far, but okay. Cool. So now I have the key card, and I can skip a small section up ahead, and oh, that was almost really bad. Okay, I'd love to say that's never happened before, but okay. So we're gonna try to optimize. Did I really not hit the switch? This is why I need to practice with the talking. Yes, so I picked up the key card. I actually did this last time I had the key card. So I need to pick up the key card. I also need to hit that switch a couple times. Wow, that was really bad though, right? Like, ugh. It's alright. What is this, amateur hour? Just nerves. Okay, so we grab this. Now we've got the key card and we've got the position to jump. We just sort of get up on that thing to sort of make it a little easier. And here we go. We got a key card. Hey! And normally we have to engage all these things, and we don't have to. We definitely save time, right? That definitely didn't take us way longer to send that key card through than it was worth. So, I'm very torn as to whether or not I'm going to keep that in my runs. I'm probably not. It's kind of hard to imagine. I don't know. It's just slow to have to account for it, and there's a lot of randomness. The throws I've come up with are pretty good. Like, the setups are pretty good, but even just that little bit, because of the terrain after that first throw, it could be in a perfect spot like it was this time, and I can't tell. So I end up diverting out of my way, and at that point I've already sunk several extra seconds into getting it, so it's not, yeah. So I don't really want to have a huge reset point if I can't quite make it. So that's still evolving. Get this hill a little bit faster. I've died here once, I think, to one of these dudes just sniping me. So we try to get out of here as quickly as possible. I get in here, it's fine. Okay, so there's dudes with, like, helmets. And, okay, that didn't take him out. I'm going to go here. It's just going to try to get out. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, those are archers. Archers will one-shot me. So there's armor you get early in the run, and there's other health upgrades you can get. And I don't know exactly how much they do, but upgrades and armor are slow, and so anyway, they'll one-shot me. So the scariest parts are in the run are ones where there's archers. I get a little tense, clench a little bit. Right there, though, you saw I sort of hopped on that blue platform. That was not in the, before I started running this, that was not in the run. That was not the world record run before I got to it. Actually, it wasn't in my first few. I'm not even sure it was in my world record, my first one, because I just kind of forgot about it. And then I was looking. There's a interactive map that someone put together of this game. I was looking. I was like, oh, there's a blue platform, a blue thing there. And I was like, it must be really hard to activate. And I looked. And I was like, oh, you literally just hit the button right next to it. So that is. I don't know exactly how much faster, but significantly faster than the having to run back. And the other piece of it that saves time is that if you're able to do that quickly enough, you're very unlikely to get shot by those archers. You don't have to engage them at all, because that was another issue. Is if you are running through that section, there was a lot of archer RNG. Whereas if they spotted you or they were in certain positions, you could kind of just skirt by or kill them quick. And if not, you take a lot. Like you could take a death there. And I had really good runs with deaths, so it's not like that ended anything because you respawn right there. Anyway, So this is Rattlehog Skip. This is a boss arena. And the game kind of... Oh, no. And that is what happens... No! Okay, 8. Okay, there we go. And that is what happens when you're talking during the run. So, it's alright. If you exit to main menu, it's fine. If you exit to... if you exit the last checkpoint, you could end up in a... There we go. Every once in a while I mess that up, and it's very bad. Like, that's a run ending right there. I mean, that's like, I don't know, extra 20 seconds, me going back to menu and all that stuff. But whatever. Because this is... Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, that's Rattlehag Skip. If you fall down there, Rattlehag is spawned, and if you go back to the last checkpoint, I think you still come outside the arena, but all the enemies then are in a state of having, like, A, there's a really annoying fog, and B, there's annoying fog, annoying music, and all the enemies have shields, and I don't know how to not have that be a thing, but it is a huge problem. So, yeah, it's better to exit, like, the better idea is to exit main menu. Once again, realistically, in a run that if I'm going for PBs, that's not a issue I'm dealing with because I'm just resetting at that point. I'm not gonna have a PB that involves falling down and resetting to main menu. So, come up here. It's a kind of tiny little skip with that, rather than going around. I didn't even know until I saw someone else's run that you weren't supposed to do that. That's just how I always did that. Nope. What am I doing? Wow, I had a new strat here where I was supposed to come down through that, but I forgot because I'm talking. Okay, we're gonna shove that way. Let's see. Do we want to get bold? No, it doesn't do anything for me. Oh, I should have had faith. Should have had faith. Physics objects in this game have a lot of they can have a mind of their own. Okay. Just gotta take these dudes out. Ideally, we take them out all before I get too high on there, so that I'm not losing time. Because that does just take a certain amount of time to get up there. Unfortunately, we didn't, so I'm gonna do that. But that wasn't too bad. Alright, so we power this thing. We move this around with our metal thing, and we're gonna open this door. That metal ball is gonna open up this close the circuit with the electricity and let us go through. We're going to shove this over here because it's not intended, but we're going to need that for a little bit later. So at this point, we're not supposed to have that ball. At this point, it is not intended for us to have that ball. I will note that I've had, before I ever speedrun this game, I casually brought it over to see if I could, I don't know, do something with it, and you can. But I didn't quite know why I would want to do that. I also messed this up. I wanted to drag this around, and once again, I'm going to talk. There's a lot I want to do at once in this section, and sometimes I forget a step, and it costs me a few seconds. Okay, so now we got this circuit complete. We're going to shove this cube, my force cube there, and then once again, like we've done before, we're going to try to somehow get that force cube into that button. In this particular case, it's by hitting this button at the exact right time and shove it in there. So that's in there. I'm going to grab this battery. We're going to need the battery. This is intended. Grabbing this anvil is intended. Having this ball is not. So we're going to power another bit right here, and the intention is you... Okay. The intention is for you to... Well, there we go. To use the anvil to complete the circuit and get yourself over this. This is a one-way thing, by the way. You're not supposed to go back until you get a new item, which we don't. But now we have this anvil, which means we can not only save a lot of time on this puzzle coming up, it also allows us to... You're supposed to need a sponge. Ooh, wow, that was rude. Okay, that was just embarrassing. You're supposed to use a sponge for the upcoming puzzle, but by having that, you're supposed to get it wet and use it as an electricity conductor and all that stuff. But we have an extra anvil, which means we don't need the sponge for that, which means we can take the sponge for something else. And in fact, because we're taking it for something entirely different, we actually don't need or want it to be wet, which means we can avoid that whole step of getting it wet, which is actually quite time consuming. So we have a dry sponge, we bring it with us, and then we're going to use it for some shenanigans a little bit. It'll be the first like major skip in the run. I would not count the skip in the red MacGuffin area to be a major skip compared to this. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. So I'm trying to get this, scooch this anvil off here. We're going to plop it over here, use the platform and the anvils to collect electricity, complete a circuit, and we're going to plop this force cube here to place this here to... There we go. So all that said, I forgot a step once again because I'm talking and distracted. Oh, also notice there's a Super Ball over there. I hit a button. We'll need that later too. That's for a pretty minor skip. I think it actually should be, on paper, it actually should be a pretty essential major skip, but I found a workaround for it that takes very little time. So technically it is faster to grab it as far as I know, but, you know, it's not a huge time save. It's just a little baby time save in my opinion. I haven't timed it out though. Because it does take you... Ooh. Okay, so we have the... Sorry, I completely lost over this. Now we have the Force Beam. The Force Beam is this purple laser... Let's call it maybe a beam. That lets you... You can create 2 anchor points, up to 2 anchor points, and you can walk on it. You can... if you put it on an object, or if you clip it to wood, it's wood objects, you can actually grapple, like pull yourself towards them. Now, I said wood objects. Okay, so we're going to encounter later on, oh goodness gracious, it's not just wood, though we can do it to gold. But one of the other interesting things we could do is, for some reason, that I absolutely cannot tell you why, and perhaps it's because, I don't know, are sponges technically made of, no, they're not made of wood. I don't know where I was going with that. But we're going to use it on that sponge. So yes, for some reason, the Force Cube beam is usable on that sponge. The Force Beam is usable on the sponge. So we're going to use that for Carrot Down skip. So there's a whole section coming up. That is, like at this moment, as far as the game goes, we're trapped. We're not supposed to. And there's a lot of these in this game. Why am I struggling with this? Okay, this is just annoying. As far as the game's concerned, we're trapped. Like, we aren't supposed to be able to get out. We're supposed to have to go through a whole section, go get a strength upgrade, do all this stuff. We're skipping all that. The strength upgrade is theoretically required, but because of that skip I mentioned earlier at the Super Ball, it's not. So, the backup for the Super Ball strat. So, you know, a little bit of quiet time. Nope. So there's like, as you saw, I kind of looked at the specific spot on the floor. There's setups for this, but they are a little bit, it still requires some finesse, and if you mess it up, what I'm trying to avoid happening big time. So as you can see, I can retry this quite a few times. Actually, I can retry this infinitely. This is a huge reset point, or used to be a huge reset point in the runs when I didn't mess it up, but then I stopped messing it up. But now I started messing it up because I'm nervous. And what I don't want to do is have the sponge go too far such that I can't really get at it. So it is possible for you to, it's easy for me to overthrow this sponge. So you'll see I'm kind of doing these measured little throws. That's intentional. That's because I'm trying to not overthrow it. So I'm not jumping twice. I'm not even throwing it at the apex of my jump. Oh! You'll also notice that the throwing it at an angle kind of is not ideal. So I kind of want to get a nice central... this was the first trick that this is a major trick. So there was a lot of, there's a handful of speedruns, I'm not going to say a lot, several years ago. And then recently, Kamuchin and friends had developed this new route that involved this Carrot Town skip. And learning this trick was a huge barrier for me. I was like, I'm never going to learn it. I'm never going to be able to do it. And I am, in fact, making it look quite difficult right now. It's not. It's annoying. Once you get it, right? There it is. So that's excellent. That is much harder than it looks, but I've also done that on one try. Like, that if I had however many throws that was. Well, I would have reset that one. That said, I'll try to keep a note for myself. If I were ever somehow able to get into a GDQ, I would. I'll set up I'll donate $10 for every missed sponge throw. So yeah, let me get the sponge back because we're gonna use it for more shenanigans, and I'm gonna fail to get through that door because I'm terrible. I'm gonna grab the Super Ball. So we're gonna need the Super Ball later. So we will lose this if we die, which is very possible. So ideally we don't, but it's fine because the backup to it is not that slow. So we go through here, we bring the sponge. Once again, we're not supposed, like, the game doesn't really want us to have the sponge. It's not doing anything to stop us, but it's not expecting us to have a sponge. Why you can connect the force beam to it, I have no idea. Like, that feels like it must have been intentional, and at the same time, like, what were they thinking? So, what was he thinking? David Munich, once again, art. I think he did like everything in this game. Like, I think it was a passion project, and it is an absolute masterpiece. Like, we've already cut out so much of this run. So up here, that blue pirate exists. This is Blueville. So now we have the force beam. We have what we're supposed to need to get to Blueville. And we can actually just go in legitimately. And but this is a speed run, and the legitimate way is slow. So what would normally happen here, spoilers, is that you would go down, you'd land down here, and the pirate gentleman, who actually turns out to be your cousin. 1 second. Quiet time. Is that, if I mess that up, that is a run-ending that is a run-ending trick right there, if I fail that. Similarly, one moment. Okay, I think we're good. Sponge strats for the win. All right. So if you, he will steal your items, then you have this long segment of having to, like, go get coins and buy back all your upgrades one by one. It's actually kind of cute and pretty funny. It's very annoying, and for a speedrun, it's terrible. But we don't do any of that. But as part of the sort of what the game does with that is it lets you, there's one new upgrade. So that one comes first. It's an upgrade for the force beam, and it lets you connect to gold. Oh no. Okay, I have ways to deal with this if it gets finicky. No, we're good. Let's check to gold. So that one only costs 5. So we walk in with 5 coins, buy this upgrade that we'd otherwise have to go through this whole section for, and then just peace out. I have tried buying those other upgrades that don't do anything for you. So it's not like we could get a 4th jump if we bought double jump again. Okay, so then I'm gonna get out here. I've never had it happen, but it is possible if you don't nail this, that you could get teleported back in there and ruin everything. All right, there's enemies over here, so we're gonna try to. Also, I love that movement right there. The force beaming over to that, super slick. Okay, jump up here. You're supposed to use the force beam, but you don't need to. I was doing it for a while in my runs, and then I rewatched the other runs, and I was like, oh, that's entirely unnecessary. So here, this is gonna look super swag if I do it right. Okay, we put oh, okay. It still looks pretty swag. So I'm gonna hit escape there just to make sure. I don't really fully understand the spawning in this. But it will help hedge in case I die. I was also supposed to grab that for a little speed, but I didn't because I'm distracted. And these are the kinds of things I gotta try to remember, cue myself up to do. So, I'm gonna jump here. I've died to this before. Also, I've had them shoot me and die. I've also actually fallen down in the lava here and lost a run to that. So, let's try to avoid those things. So now I have the Super Ball, which is notably bouncy and, most importantly for this upcoming section, yellow. So we've got some rocks here, and there's a guy who really wants some gold nuggets, and I don't know where to find gold nuggets. But we have rocks, and we have some yellow, and we have this paint machine. So we're going to shoot that through there, and voila, we have kind of gold nuggets, at least good enough for him. So we're gonna roll this over here and replace 2 gold nuggets in his box because we're bros like that, and he's gonna pay us in an upgrade, a very significant upgrade, which allows us to connect the force beam to our force cube, and that is kind of the end game for That is the final upgrade for the Force Beam, and it is so important. Like, if we had that sooner, we could, like, if you were able to have that early in the run, it would just sort of break the whole run open. Like, a lot of things are much more challenging because you don't have something to attach your Force Beam to. So being able to attach it to your Force Cube is absolutely huge. Now I'm going to go up here, and I'm also going to hit the switch in case I die, because I happen to die quite... Well, I've died here quite a few times. And if you hit that, it at least lets you recover a lot quicker. So, why might I die here? Because there's archers. All these other enemies. There's like 20 enemies, like 15 enemies, whatever it is. How am I going to die here? Archers. Only archers. The only thing that has any threat here is archers. Okay, and then that teaches us that we can shoot... Well, we've done the beam through electricity before, so we need to open that. I'm glad I didn't die there. It's very annoying, very costly. So there's a whole puzzle here. We don't do that. We do engage with some of this, and before we engage with some of this, we use our beam combo to take these guys out. This is the spot in the run. Like, this is one of a couple spots. I don't know that you strictly have to take them out, but your life will be a lot more difficult if you don't. Oh, so this guy wants me to sort through his gold nuggets and get rid of the ones and put in the trash ones that are fake, because some opponent apparently has been scanning him. I don't know, that seems kind of rude. And if you do, he'll give you access to his electricity. So we are going to use his electricity to connect to this cube. Now the electricity is flowing through, and boom, boom, boom. One of the things this game does really well has very versatile uses for all the different mechanics. So, like, in this case, those are fireflies, or whatever they call them, and they like things that are glowy and purple. So we use the Force Beam that is glowy and purple to have them, go along there. And then we use the fact that it connects to wood to try to get it. So we want to get these fireflies over here. Now, obviously, if you know anything about fireflies, they love to eat carrots. So, obviously, the solution to this puzzle is you get those fireflies near the carrots, and they eat the carrots, and yeah, you're away. Like, duh. Like, that's just common knowledge. What you might not have known is that they will eat anything orange. But I'll leave that as a little exercise. Just stash that away in your brain. That fireflies eat anything orange. So we got the electricity flowing along here through the water, and it creates a little arc here, if you will, and we shoot up at a door. This is a skip. Not a skip. This just saves a little bit of time. So there's a whole puzzle in that little room right there that we don't have to do to set a wall of paper on fire. We don't do that. He's going to be a key, and then we're going to get our final upgrade, the final major upgrade, the translocator, which is which lets us basically, at this point, it's get a couple of upgrades for it so we can use it more effectively, and then get to the end of the run, get to the final boss. So, okay, so we're going to do a little bit of shenanigans so that this lava wall is impenetrable. So we use the translocator. Basically what the translocator does is it, you shoot it, it creates a ball, and then you can go wherever you can teleport to where the ball lands. So for right now, that's basically useful for getting through that. We're going to need it for a puzzle coming up. If you do it wrong right there, it'll roll back and it'll be entirely ineffective. I'm going to be quiet for this moment, and hopefully you'll see what happens. I'm basically trying to beat some enemies to spawning. If I do this right, it'll be really quick and slick, and everything will be fine. And if I do it wrong, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, so that was almost catastrophic, and we made it work. So, there's two buttons. We had to stand on one. We had to use the Force Cube for the other. You can... It's not that complicated. There's an archer here. But there's enemies that you don't have to fight. If you do it really quick, you can do it before the enemies spawn. That's why that's scary. So right here, we have We have some more fireflies, and I don't know why this trick works. I discovered it kind of by accident, and so we get this. We have the fireflies. We have to set. We're supposed to like light them on fire, and normally I think you're supposed to like put them into, like, make them go on a follow your path, your beam path through the lava, and it's a whole thing. It takes time, and I just found that if you go through that, you go through the paper as it's burning up, they just go on fire. I mean, it's obviously, to me, it's obvious that it was intended, but, or at least that like, to have those two things interact with one another, I don't know, it seems intended, but that is a really nice skip. It's only used there. And it took me a while. Like, I'd had it happen by accident in a run. I was like, wait, what? And I remember going to the tape and being like, okay, so if I maybe it's friction. Maybe I gotta go back and see if that was three throws or 4, because I thought you needed 4, but if that was 3, that was excellent. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm rubbing the ball against the wall and it's setting it on fire, and I could not for the life of me figure it out. And it was just happened to work because I would always break down that second one right at the end. So anywho, that's super cool. Now we are at the river. So I never really explained. So the reason Blueville didn't have water is because this giant, what is officially in the game referred to as a farty meat bag, is sitting in the river and blocking it. So this is the final boss. Just keep in mind, earlier we talked about how fireflies will eat carrots or anything orange because they're just into that. Oh, that's the spoiler alert. That's relevant here. So this is a whole puzzle that's kind of honestly pretty challenging to get the sequencing right. It's very casually. It's fun. It's interesting. Maybe a little frustrating. But you know, we're speedrunners, right? So we know exactly what to do. Now I'm gonna try to get early fart. Nope. I might die here. I got lucky. So I need to get farted on. So let's see if we can get a advantageous fart. Returns. Oh, get. Yes. Okay. Good. So that's essential. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, that was not too bad. I only took 4 damage. Okay. So, I'm going to fly up this thing. The sequencing is flying up here. He's orange. Cool. He's orange. This door is open. Oh, look, some fireflies. I think you know what's about to happen. So, boom. The fireflies now eat the farty meat bag, and that is our run. I have a lot of work to do, both on talking during running as well as finding better things to say. 45:15 is a really good time. 45:15 is... Let's see, I'm checking the leaderboard. 4th place. So, like, 45:15 is excellent. That wasn't a terrible run, right? Like, I mean, it was. But, also, whatever. Where did I lose most of my time? It just sort of that middle part of the run, I just... Anyway. Thank you for indulging me on this. I'm going to stop streaming in a moment. But, it's good. I just got to get used to talking during the night. I just got to practice doing full runs. Got to practice talking and figuring out what I want to talk about. So, once we go to credits, we'll be able to exit out. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. I'm trying to get my ratio up a little bit. 12 out of 86.